you then went to research Turkey. How did you come across that? I honestly didn't know. I didn't know that it was Turkey until like half an hour ago when I clicked on. Yeah, I clicked on it.
Well, for years I've looked at gastric sleeve surgery, and I've had like conversations on Messenger and on email with Get Slim Turkey and various different companies. You know, looking at their mortality rate, asking about their surgeons and things like that, and then having conversations.
Mortality rate, is that the first question? Well, how likely am I to die? Yeah.
It's risks will happen anywhere. You know, I know people have had it done here, and 10 years down the line, they're still having to go for regular hospital appointments for something that's went wrong during their surgery. Those risks can happen there as well. There's a language barrier there, yes. The follow-up care is going to be different because you've not got them on your doorstep. But
could they understand you?
Well, that's what Google Translate's for. But to be fair, our surgeon was really, really good.
Because we don't really speak English.
No, it's our own kind of English, isn't it? But they were brilliant. Can't fault them at all. They were really, really good. And anything that they didn't understand, they had good Google Translate just to try and be clear and make sure that they were getting the gist of what you were saying and understanding what you were saying. Because if you're talking to them about if you're in pain or anything else, they need to know.
Yeah.
You're in their care.
So what made you make the decision for Turkey then?
Every time I've thought about it, every time I've researched it, I spoke to my husband about it, and it's like he never really says anything. He just listens to me, and he listens to what I've got to say, and then I think it's a lot of money, and then we don't do it. Something else comes up, and like I'm all in for everybody else and commitment for everybody else, but I've never been one to turn that onto myself. So I was going home from the school run one morning. I was talking to a friend, and she says, "Did so and so tell you my news?" And I was like, "No, what?" She says, "I've booked my surgery." She says, "I'm not even going to lie to you." So that I'm fucking jealous. I'm jealous. I think,
so this is one of your friends?
Aye, one of the mums I knew for the school. And I says, "I don't know why can't I do that for myself?" And she's telling me when she's going, and I'm thinking the clogs are already starting to go in my head. So I walked home and I said to Brendan, "She's going for a surgery." She booked a surgery, and we're talking about it. And he says to me, "Listen, Jennifer," and it's the first time he's ever acknowledged what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. And he says to me, "See if this is something that you really want to do it." Within a day, I had ordered my new passport and taken the chance that the passport delays weren't going to hinder anything, and it was going to arrive in time for me leaving, because I had been on and spoke to the representative and booked my surgery date for the same time as my friend was going, so that because somebody was supposed to be going with her.
So this is the one that told you she was going. You booked it with her.
So her friend was going, but for some circumstances that she was facing, she had to pull out and put hers back a wee bit. So I said, "If you're still happy to go on that day, I'll come with you." Right. I says, "I'm going to go and do it. Why can't I do it for myself?" So, because at that point, my mental health, like you'd have been scraping the bottom of the barrel. I was such a recluse. I wouldn't even go for a night in with my pals, like even in my jammies. It's still...
Yeah, tell me more about that, because that's more what I'm interested in. Like
the mental health side of things.
Because I went for therapy this year.
Mm-hmm.
What were you struggling with most?
Everything, and it's food was a crutch for me. Food was how I got through all my most stressful times. My oldest kid is 15, and he was diagnosed with autism right at an early age, and it was only young. It was our first child, so we had nothing to compare him to. And my dad phoned me one night, and he says to me after he'd been down, and he says, "Do you think maybe Owen's maybe got some signs of autism?" And I was absolutely crushed. I was horrified. I was angry. Like, how dare you? Because my nephew was born 9 weeks before. So then I started to compare, and everything was just, it was just thrown into this big whirlwind of having to cope with different situations.
A whole, bang, there's...
Aye, so, and then, it's... Like, the autism didn't make me go and eat and things like that, but all the emotional things that come with it, and it's not just dealing with the autism. The autism has an effect on your relationship, because you're not always going to be, even in the most ideal world, you're not going to be singing for the same hymn sheet all the time. You're not going to have the same opinions on how to deal with one situation to another. So we had to go through a whole massive learning curve and process.
Yeah.
And how he learned.
Basically like an upheaval of how you thought your life was going to go.
It was as if somebody just went up a board game, the life, and it's just...
Fix that.
Aye. You can't fix it.
Yeah.
You live with it. And you learn to make the world a better place around him so that he's comfortable in his world and not other people having to feel comfortable around him.
Your weight changed much throughout that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My weight went up as I was pregnant with Owen. It went up to 18 stone 9. And I struggled to lose it after that. And then when everything else started kicking off, it was just adding on. It was just, everything was just piling on.
Yeah.
And then we had the transitions to school, which weren't working out because they weren't equipped. Mainstream school weren't equipped. He didn't have the diagnosis. And then we thankfully got his diagnosis. So his second year of primary school, he went to a different school, which were more than equipped for him. And it was the best thing that happened to him. But
that helped your stress levels?
It did. I had Gracie, my daughter, she was just born when he started school. And quite literally, I had to go and sit in the conference room outside his classroom every single day. Like, maybe an hour and a half after I'd put him into school, and I had to go and sit in that conference room with a baby.
Jesus Christ.
Just waiting for them to say, nah, we can't cope with this. You'll need to take him home.
Yeah, brutal. So, let's still go through what happened when you went to Turkey then. So, you went with your friend. Mm-hmm. How did you decide which company to go for? Because like everybody's heard horror stories as well.
There's
so
a lot.
I'd imagine
a lot
you'd be scared of that.
I've never heard of, like clinics that on the facade of these clinics, you know, they're big fancy places and they look like you're going into the Versace hotel and big fancy rooms and things like that. But my friend, she had already done all her research. So I went on and I had a look for myself.
They've got a wee influencer prancing about and all that in them, don't they?
And the place we went with, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention them, Emma.
I don't really care what you mention. It's fine.
Well,
no one's going to sue me, I don't think. They might sue you if you're up for it.
Well, I'm not going to slander them, so...
Yeah, fair.
We went with Ecall International Hospital, which is a working hospital. It's like the Monklands.
Right.
So it's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing dressed up about it.
Is that what they describe themselves as Turkish Monklands?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they might do now. You never know. But, well, maybe that's not a great thing. But... They were brilliant, and I cannot fault the care enough. But she had already done her research, so when she had done that, I went on and I had a look for myself. I had a look at the surgeons, and you know, they're really quite highly respected and educated in their field. Like, in one of our surgeon was actually, he's a professor in the field. Can't even speak now.
Professor.
Aye. He's a professor in the field and actually teaches the surgery as well.
Right.
But he's really, really fluent in English. And one of the ladies that I was with, she has fibromyalgia, diabetes, amongst other health conditions, was on 22 tablets a day.
Right.
And the day we left the hospital, they reduced those tablets to 2 tablets. And see, since we've come home since October, she's not had to take any of those medications at all. And whilst all her liver functions were all coming back as clear and normal when he was in for the surgery, her liver shape had all changed. Liver or kidney? I don't know. One of the two. Had all changed. I'm sure it was her liver.
I've no
because
idea.
of the visceral fat that had been building up around about it. So it had actually changed its shape. And he came into the room and he said, "Jennifer, your surgery was uneventful." And I was like, "Gee, thanks." And he turned around and says, I'll not say her name. He says, "This is the best decision that you could ever have made for your life. It's the best tool you could have given yourself. So please take it, follow the programme and do what's right for your body. Your liver, had it gone on for another 6 or 7 months, you know, it could quite easily have started to deteriorate and then she would have been on dialysis or whatever comes after that. I don't know." But he had really emphasis on the fact that the liver shape had all started to change and this was the best thing that he ever done.